Hey everyone, welcome to Rivals Feature, the series where my Discord server and I pick a course and a class and run a 2-week competition to see how much we can all learn, improve, and shake up the global leaderboard. Then, I share the results here in this video. This week's course was the Astmoor Heritage Circuit in D class. Let's give a quick rundown of the track. The lap starts towards the end of a small straight and leads directly into a 90-degree right, which extends downhill and then back uphill in a slight left. Over the crest we come into a very long left, then into a high-speed medium right over a hill, and at the bottom of the hill we have a quite technical right that can be treated as one long triple apex corner. Finally we come into a long straight with a slight left partway through, and coming downhill off the straight we lead into a medium left, then immediately to a short right that's not quite tight enough to be called a hairpin, and then finally a medium right that can be cut into the finish. Our cars topping the leaderboards for each class are the standard selection here that we've gotten pretty familiar with over the past few events. In D class, the Peel Trident is the easy winner, then moving into C class, the Tractor starts to sneak into the leaderboards, and in B class the Tractor completely takes over. In A class we have a pretty nice mix here actually, and then in S1 the Shelby Monaco dominates the leaderboards, and in S2 the Monaco still shows up with a few other mixes like the TVR Sagaris. Alright, so for our challenge at the bottom of the barrel in D class, the Peel Trident was really the only contender here. If you'll remember from the last event, the Peel was the fastest car on the leaderboard, but the Tractor still got good times and was honestly a lot easier to drive, so I avoided the Peel entirely, but that was not an option for this challenge. The Peel was unavoidable. So instead, I just avoided the entire Rivals event and went camping in the Badlands for 2 weeks. No, obviously I'm joking a bit, but I was gone during the majority of this event and sadly did not get to post an official time, but I did dive in after the event ended to give the Peel Trident some real effort. And honestly, after only maybe 5 or 6 laps, I started to get the hang of it. Still crashing quite a bit, but here and there some corners were starting to come together. I had originally thought the Peel to be a completely unpredictable mess that just wants to throw you into a wall every chance it gets, but if you treat it right and really drive precisely, the Peel almost carries itself through some corners. It's fascinating in a way and really satisfying once I started being able to put down some mostly clean laps. It still isn't easy to drive, there's a narrow window of success, let's say, and I still messed up and hit walls a lot. But those good laps and even just a few good corners or sections were really fun to pull off. This style of driving is so different from anything I've ever used in Forza, and it did feel rewarding knowing that I was finally able to conquer the Peel after seeing it as essentially impossible for me just a few weeks ago. Now, it's probably a good time to mention here that, well, the Peel may be going away soon. If you've been paying attention to the past few game update live streams, overpowered cars are going to be blacklisted from both online adventure and Rivals events, which also means that every time set in a blacklisted car will be removed. This is going to massively shake up the Rivals scene. As you've probably noticed, most of the time I go through each class's leaderboard cars, it's all roughly the same. You've got the Trident and the Tractor, sometimes the Mini in the lower classes. Then moving up you've got cars like the Bone Shaker, the Monaco, or even the CLK GTR. Now we don't know which cars are getting blacklisted or even just what defines an overpowered car to the devs, but personally I'm hoping for a big shakeup, and we can be pretty confident that the Peel Trident will be removed from Rivals soon. So, hopefully by the next time we come around to C and D class, the leaderboard cars will look a bit different. But for now, let's pull up this event's leaderboard and hand things over to Johnny Cam, who battled it out with Dust for the lead position, but ended up having the top time by the end of the event. So, Johnny Cam jotted down some good tips that I'll read off here during his lap. So he wanted to mention first that he was, kind of ironically, using Dust's tune, which I used as well and would highly recommend if this is the style of driving in the Peel you're trying to go for. He was using no assists and manual with no clutch. He said to never brake ever and never ever let go of the gas either. Duct tape the triggers if you must. You want to treat the brake lines as your drift line. Only steer full throttle and tap the e-brake to initiate your drift. You'll be crossing the line on this course in 5th gear, and the first corner, that 90 hairpin right, you'll also be taking in 5th. You want to continue to stay in 5th gear until that second to last checkpoint. That technical triple apex section, try staying on the road for that, as going off the road will throw off your line. Keep it floored in 5th and tap the e-brake as needed to make the turn. Cutting a corner here can lose the speed gained in traction that the road provides. It may seem faster to cut and shave some of the checkpoints, but you'll lose it in the sweep out onto the uphill straight, as his video shows. So continue along the straight flat out in 5th, and the last left after the hill is a leap of faith, as he says. It's tempting to ease off the throttle, but keep it full bore, and a perfectly timed half-second hold on the e-brake will take that left perfectly to transition into the apex of the hairpin right, where you'll drop into 4th gear as you pass through the checkpoint, and your uphill run for the final checkpoint begins. Get back into that 5th gear and hit the last checkpoint as you race for the line. Alright, so thank you Johnny Cam for that. That's honestly all very good advice that you should really take into account if you want to tackle the Peel Trident. Alright everyone, that just about wraps it up. We are going to be back into S2 class Rivals racing next week, so I'm excited to hop into some fast high-end cars, but for now, that just about wraps up this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks everyone for watching.